Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought it would be a lot of fun to talk about what's in my makeup bag here. I got this idea from a video that I recently watched of KathleenLights. I will link her video down below, but she uploaded a video of the makeup that she has in her makeup bag, and I usually don't use a makeup bag because I don't really go anywhere and all of my makeup is in my collection behind me. But just recently I did travel and I visited some family, so I happened to pack up a makeup bag, and I was like, before unpacking it, I might as well just show it to you on camera as to what I packed in my makeup bag and the makeup that I enjoyed. So we will create a look with some of the products that are in here, and I will also try to talk about some of the other products as well. So yeah, hope you guys are excited for this. Let's just go ahead and get into it, I guess. So I've talked about these bags so many times, probably already on my channel here, but for traveling, I use the Allie Glines bag. Now this is their, I don't exactly remember, but she has a couple of different collections. I think this is her like smaller travel size bag. She's got a full collection one as well, but this is the smaller of the options. So this is what I used for traveling this time around. I'll also make sure to link her bags down below because you may have seen them in my videos here before, and I do get a decent amount of use out of them, so I'll make sure to put those down below. But opening it up here, I'll just kind of show you what we did here. So I didn't use the top of it this time around, but pretty much just kind of use the base. So we've got our fan in here. I've got a mirror in here as well. And then I decided to pack a little bag here of my brushes and the sponge that I used and stuff. And then usually in the original collection, it comes with 2 of these smaller bags. I decided just to use one this time around and then pack a couple more of my other products just alone on the end here, or just alone, just inside the bag here, and then a couple of my palettes up on top. So just wanted to kind of show you inside there before we dipped into the video and disassembling this, I guess. But you can hold a lot of product in these bags. So I definitely packed more than I needed to for this weekend, but it was so nice to actually have all of this in this really nice compact bag. So yeah, that's super exciting. So let's go ahead and, I don't know, just start pulling things out of here, I guess. So in the smaller bag here, I'll open that up here real quick. This is where I put a lot of like the skinnier products. So concealers, lipsticks, mascaras, eyeliners, lip liners, brow products. I just kind of threw that all in here. Or I brought along 2 concealers. I brought the Covergirl True Blend Concealer, and then I also brought my mini Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I decided to bring this one along because at the time of recording this, I had just somewhat recently did my Covergirl video, and I remembered very much enjoying how this performed, minimal creasing and things like that, so I wanted to bring it for the weekend. So that's what we're going to use again here today for our eye base. And then we will use a little bit of the Tarte concealer on our face. I have their lightest shade and use that for brightening and concealing on the face later. All right, we've got our eye base all done here. So next we are going to hop into shadows. And for the weekend, I packed 4 eyeshadows. I ended up using, I think I used a combination of 2 over the weekend. I got a little bit more use out of my She Glam Artistry palette here. I love this thing so much. And then a little bit newer to my collection here, I decided to pick up the Nudie 2 palette, and I used this over the weekend. And this thing is beautiful. So I definitely wanted to pack this and bring it along. But in addition, I also brought the Catrice Instabay eyeshadow here as well. since recording my Catrice video, I have not gotten a whole lot of use out of this one. I remembered loving it, so I wanted to pack that one along. I don't think I ended up using, no, I didn't end up using it over the weekend, but maybe we'll try to get some use out of it today. And then the other eyeshadow that I brought along as well was this LA Girls one. It's just a very nice, easy eyeshadow with just a good, simple combination of pinks, and I get a lot of use out of this one, so I brought that one along. I don't think I used this one either. It was just the Nudie and the Sheet Glam that I used over the weekend, but we are gonna try and come up with a look here, hopefully using most of these palettes. I definitely wanna get some use out of this Instabay one. Let's go ahead and start in the Nudie palette here. I've gone ahead and just swatched like the two colors that I definitely want, which is the gold from the Catrice palette and then the center metallic pink from the LA Girls. I think that's gonna kind of be the direction I wanna go with this, but I'm gonna start in the Nudie 2 palette here and grab this shade here called Patootie and start that in the crease and transition. I think I want this to end up being a darkish, smokier eye, but I don't want to start too heavy. So I thought starting with this shade would be a good option. Okay, and then using that same brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip into the LA Girls palette here, into this deepest, darkest brown here, and just kind of build up the crease a little bit more with this to get a little bit more dimension. And then next, what I'm going to do here, I'll probably end up using my finger for the majority of the rest of this look, but I want a little bit of this purple shade here called Risk or Risque. And I'm going to dip my finger in there and just slightly just apply a little bit of this right at the end of the eye here still. Just a little bit of that in there. And then next, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab that Catrice palette, going into that gold FOMO shade there. Again, just using my finger. I'm going to apply this on the more inner part of the lid here, and then I think what we're going to try to do is start to have it fade and blend into this deep, more purpley pink shade from the LA Girls palette. Okay, so something like that. I think that's really cool. I am happy that I did that. Awesome. Okay, so that's where we're gonna leave the upper eyeshadow here for now, and then I'm going to take a wipe here and clean up and sharpen the edges a bit. So next we're gonna grab our eyeliner. I packed so many eyeliners because I had so many that I wanted to get use out of again. I think I've got them all here. So for eyeliners, the one that I used over the weekend was this Arceli's brown liner. It looked really pretty with the pinks and the browns that I had used over the weekend, and it would honestly look really good with this as well. But I think I have another liner that I want to use instead. But the other liners that I packed as well were the LA Girl Fine Line liner. I like this one a lot for the very tiny applicator that it has for creating wings. Love that one. And then also, I don't remember the brand on this one, Dragon Liner, but here's what that one looks like. This is from one of my makeup subscriptions, and I've used this one a couple of times and I know that I really like it. Still have not used it quite, very often, but not the liner I'm going to use today, but I did pack it over the weekend. The one I do want to use is the Pudere eyeliner. I remember from the video very much enjoying it, and when I was packing and trying to find the products that I wanted to bring for the weekend, and I was doing all the swatches, this one just is so black and so matte and dries down so well that I was just like, ooh, if I use a black liner, this is probably the one that I would use. But I did end up using a brown, so we are going to use this today and apply this as our liner. Just did a little baby wing with that. Didn't want to go too overboard with it, but yes, this liner, I need to get so much more use out of. It is so black and it applies so quick. It's just like a marker with a nice, like it's a fat tip on it, but it comes to a pretty decent point that you can get pretty defined with it, which is super duper awesome. And I know that Pewdiepie has like so many colors in their eyeliners that I really want to try more of their colored liners and stuff, because this one performs really well. I'd have to hope that their other colored liners perform super well as well. So loving this eyeliner. Okay, let's grab the mascara now. So for mascara, I packed the Catrice Pret a Volume False Lash Mascara. I've been loving this mascara. It does a good job of lifting the lashes, making them appear as longer, holds very well. So very much have been enjoying that. And then for the bottom lashes, good go-to for me is the Believe Beauty one. I love using this one on the lower lash line. The wand on it is just so nice. So these are the only two that I had packed, and that's what we will use today. All right, so I've applied that Catrice mascara to the upper lashes here so far. We will come back on the beauty mascara, the Believe Beauty mascara here in a little bit. I love that mascara. I didn't even curl my lashes. I packed a curler, but I didn't use it this time around because that mascara really doesn't need it. It just does such a good job. Let's go ahead and hop into the face here now. And for primer, I think I just packed the one. Yes, so for primer, I brought the Touch and Soul. It is their, I don't know what that says, but it's their Icy Sherbet Primer. This primer is so cool. It's got such a cooling effect. It's slightly mattifying, and I think it does a decent job with pore filling. I just love the way it prepares the face for makeup, and it feels so nice. So we're going to apply this all over. Love that primer so much. I love how it feels. I love how pore filling it is. It is so good. And next we will go into foundation. So I only packed one foundation as well. Usually I pack like 2 or 3 when I'm not sure, but I wanted to make sure I used a specific one. So I only packed the one, and the one that I brought along was the She Glam Complexion Pro Foundation. And this stuff is still just so great. Very full coverage, and it just looks so beautiful on the face. And I also packed along over the weekend my Tati blender. So let's go ahead and use that to blend this all over the face. I'm going to try to just go very light with it because I don't want it to be super heavy, super full coverage. This foundation, you can definitely, it still looks very nice, but it'll definitely look like you're wearing foundation. So I'm going to try to go just a touch lighter with it this time around. I very much enjoy using this Tati blender whenever I do go places. It's so flexible, and I did bring sponges and a couple of brushes as well when I did travel and when I packed this bag. But when it comes to like being on a time crunch, I feel that this blender does such a good job when it comes to needing to quickly apply your makeup, especially when you're away. I like using this thing a lot when it comes to traveling. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more on the neck here. All right, we've got that foundation applied. We are looking nice and covered. Let's put the lid on that guy. Next, we will do concealer. So I'm going to grab that Tarte concealer this time around and use this just along the eyes here. I'll grab my blender again for this. Alrighty, next we are going to set the face. So for setting powders, I brought along my 2 AOA powders. They're AOA Studios Perfect Setting Powders. I've talked about these before on the channel as well. I've got their more illuminating one here, or brightening is what they say on the back here. And then I've also got their matte translucent one here as well. I love the size of these. I love using them in combination together, and they just travel so well and work as a pair so well together. So I think this time around I'm just going to use the brightening one. So I'm going to grab a fluffy brush here, dip into that brightening one, and we will set the entire face. All right, we are all set. I'm going to hop back to the brows here now. And for brows, let's see what I all brought. So for brows, what I brought was first the Beauty Creations Brow Team Setting Gel. This is their clear setting gel. And I've also talked about this on the channel before as well. When it comes to doing brows, I love to use a clear gel first to comb the brows all up and in place. And then I'll go in with my pencil. And then usually also I'll go back in with a tinted gel just to help with that extra hold and coverage. I don't really know. So I love going with a clear gel, then a pencil, then a tinted gel. So this was the clear gel that I brought and I love it. And then the pencil that I brought was the Real Her I Am Grateful Micro Brow Pencil. I love this pencil. It's such a great shade, such a nice micro tip pencil. Has that spoolie on the end, so love this pencil so much. And then the tinted brow gel that we brought was the Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow in their shade Light Pale. So this was the last step for the brows of just putting that extra little brow gel in to hit any maybe sparse areas that I may have missed. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Alrighty, there are the brows done. They are bold and fluffy, but I'm liking that. I've been very much enjoying this combination here. So awesome, awesome. Let's go ahead and finish up under the eyes here. Probably gonna keep it fairly simple. So I'm just going to hop into the LA Girl palette here, grab my M433 brush here again, and I'm going to dip into a combination of this lightest shade here and this one here, and just kind of quickly run that all along the lower lash line. And then in that same palette, I'm just going to take the deepest brown here, dip in there with that same brush, and run this closer to the outer part and blend that into the top. Okay, I kept these shadows for the lower lash line fairly simple there, but I really love what's going on the top of them, so I didn't want to overdo it. But one little thing I also still want to do, another product that I had packed was the Jordana's Easyliner for Lips. I believe I've talked about this on my channel. I don't recall what video it would have been from, but I love using this pencil or similar pencils like this one in the lower waterline. This one is a very beautiful plummy kind of color, I'd say. And I love using it, again, in my waterline. So I'm going to pop that into the waterline here real quick. Okay, and then next we will grab that Believe Beauty mascara and apply this to the lower lash. Alrighty, there are the eyes complete. We will probably still come back and grab or add some highlighter into the inner corners, but this is such a fun eye look. I am loving how things are turning out here. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep figuring out what's in the bag here. Next we are going to do bronzer, and I packed two bronzers. I packed the Aesthetica, their Sunset bronzer. I love this bronzer. This is definitely quite, look at those lights. This is definitely a go-to bronzer for me. It is a matte bronzer. And then the other one that I also brought along, I didn't end up using this, but it is the Catrice Sun Lover Glow Bronzer. And I packed it just in case I wanted to maybe lay this down, but then put a little bit of a glow over top, which I think is what we're gonna do today. I do want to use both of them for sure. So I am going to grab the Laurice LR375 flat powder brush, and I'm going to dip into the Aesthetica bronzer here. We will first bronze with this. I'm going to try not to go too heavy-handed with it, being that we are going to layer another bronzer over top, but I love this bronzer so much. All right, got that Aesthetica bronzer on, and now we will go ahead and jump into the Catrice one. I believe I've only really used this one one time since the video, and I loved it. So I hope I love it over this as well. Yes, that is beautiful. Ooh, yes. that looks very nice. I may have gone a touch heavy, but I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna bounce over it here with the sponge real quick. I am loving that. Awesome. Okay, what next? Let's do highlighter next. I packed 2 highlighters. I, of course, packed the Makeup Obsession Mega Glow highlighter. Love this highlighter. I actually did not use it over the weekend. I ended up using the other one here, the Hard Candy Rose Gold highlighter. Both of these I love so much, but this Mega Glow is so good, and I think that's the one we're going to use today. Being that we've got this gold going on with the eyes, I definitely want to use this one that has those touches of gold in it. So let's go ahead and grab a Sigma brush here. Or not a Sigma. This is a Sonia brush. Dipping into that Mega Glow highlighter and running this on the cheeks. Ooh, I love it. Just look at that. Oh, ooh, it's so pretty. I love it so much. Okay, and then I'm going to take a smaller brush here. And like we did in my 99 and under favorites, I'm going to take the gold, focusing that part, and use this as the inner corner area. Whenever I have gold looks that I'm doing, I love using this in the inner corner instead. Or of course, doing the inner crease with it as well is so pretty as well. Loving that. Okay, let's go ahead and do blush here now. So for blush, I packed the Essence The Blush, this guy right here. And then I also packed the Milani Blossom Time Rose. I ended up not using this, but I don't think I'm going to today as well, but I love using this as a topper if you just want a little bit of that pearliness to come through on your blush. But I think I want it to sit a little bit more matte. Being that we've already got the glow of the beaming highlighter and a little bit more glow from that glowy Catrice bronzer, I think I do want the blush, just when it blends in here, to be matte so that that stuff can all contribute the glow instead. Don't want to go too overboard with it. So I'm going to just use the Essence blush and use a e.l.f. angled blush brush here. Dip on in and apply. So that blush is applied. And again, because we had the glowing and beaming highlighter underneath and that more glowy bronzer as well, there's definitely still a lot of glow to the face. So I don't think there is any need to add that Milani more shimmer topper to it. And I think this looks good just the way it is. So that is the blush. I'm going to go ahead and set the face here. So for setting spray, I also only packed one, and I brought along the Catrice Cosmetics Prime and Fine, and this is their Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I love this setting spray. It holds the makeup down in such a good way. And I don't find on this one for the dewiness to be over shiny. I think it does such a good job of balancing things out. So I don't think it's going to have any of this current shine that we've got going on go any more overboard than it already is. I think it's just going to do a really good job with balancing everything. So I'm going to go ahead and shake this up and spray this on the face. It also has such a good mister on it. Like, it is so nice. I just sprayed that all into my water. That's okay. But it has such a really good mister on it, and I just love it. So I'm going to set the face with this, and then we will grab our fan and our blender here again and set everything down. That is set. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, and then we are going to figure out the lips here. I brought a good amount of lip products with me. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so first off, for liners, I packed 3 liners. I brought along one of my early favorites, which was the Wet n Wild gel liner in the shade Bare to Commit. So that guy right there, which I mean, this one works so well with so many different things. It just is a little bit more on the maybe a little more orangey than the pinks that we have going on, but I love using that lip liner. The other one we have here is the Essence Stay 8 Hour Waterproof Liner. Very similar shades. This one definitely is a little bit more on the mauve tones, which I think will look really good with our current eye look. And what else did we pack? The Ace Beauty. This is their Be Peachy, and this thing looks like it's in horrible shape because I tried sharpening it after realizing that I could twist the bottom. So it doesn't look like it's in great shape, but it still works really, really well. And this one is more of a brown nude option, which I think also would look really good with our eye look here. So between the Essence one and the Ace Beauty one here, I think those are good contenders. Let's see what we have for lip products. I brought along both of the Surat, what are these called again? They're lip slicks. The one here in Gammon kind of matches with that Wet n Wild one. Don't think we'll use that today. And then this one is in Heaven. That one would be a good option. I don't know if I want to go with a glossy. These are kind of sheer and glossy. I think I do want something a little bit more coveragey than those. So something similar to those, I guess, would maybe be the Hard Candy, the Syrup Kiss. Love this stuff so much. Because I'm swatching, I might as well swatch this for you guys as well. I'll just swatch that next to that one as well. This would be such a great option as well, but I think I'm gonna go for something a little bit more coverage than that. The other product in here that's somewhat similar to those, except for it not being glossy, is this Complex Cultures. This is their tinted lip cream in espresso. This is such a fun product as well. It applies so soft on the lips, but it builds up really nicely as well. And as you can see there, it's not as juicy as those products over there. It's definitely a little bit more matte. You can build it up to be this beautiful tint on your lips. I love that. This is actually what I had used over the weekend, and I use this so often. Hey look, we have another one of these. Nope, not gonna use that. Ooh, I know what we're gonna do. So the other thing that we have in here, I talked about this one in a recent video, is the Color Matte's Long Lasting Formula. Their lipstick in the shade All Natural. This has been such a go-to for me recently. That guy right, oof, my thing is all backwards. This guy right there, I've been loving him, but I think what I'm going to end up doing today is grabbing the LA Colors lipstick here and then also the Essence lipstick here and using both of these. So this is their shade in Latte. Beautiful. And then I think I'm going to use it a little bit lighter in the center here with this Essence one called Special. They're pretty similar, but I think that one's a little bit lighter. That I think I'm gonna layer those together. Was not thinking that I was gonna do a whole swatch thing there, but that was fun. Let's use the Essence lip liner. I'm gonna go ahead and line and fill the lips with this. And first we will grab that LA Colors lip and apply this all over. And then lastly, take that Essence lip color. And I'm just gonna focus this right in the center and then blend that through with my finger. I don't know how much of a ombre this will do, but I thought it'd be fun to try it. Ooh. Okay, yes. I love that. And I guess just because it's in here, the last lip product that's in here is the Surat. This is their Lip Luster in Charminate. And we will just go ahead and put a little bit of this on just as a gloss. I'm gonna go very light with it. Alrighty, and that is the lips complete here, and that is also the makeup look complete here as well. I've pretty much talked about most of the products that were in here. Other than that, I had also packed along 2 like glitter primers. I don't use glitter primers very often, but I packed them in case I maybe would use them. So I have a NYX one here. And then I also have this one from Visert. And honestly, even before packing it, I had swatched it, and I actually ended up using this over the weekend, not on the eyes, but it has such a matte and smoothing consistency to it that I actually used it around here as a smoothing and blurring primer before I went in with the Instasol primer all over the face. So if you have this and you want to try it that way, that's how I used it and that's how I enjoyed it. But those are other products that I brought along. And then the other 2 things in here was the Surratt, their Inner Light Baton. This is just their nude eyeliner for the lower waterline. I don't remember if I used it, but we've used this on the channel a couple of times here before. And then I just also brought along the Anastasia Beverly Hills, their lip primer. So just something to balm and prime the lips in advance before putting any lip products on. Didn't use it today, but I did use it over the weekend. And yeah, I believe we talked about all of the products. I had so much fun putting this look here together and showing you guys the products that I had packed in my Allie bag for when I traveled. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy the video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see similar videos to this, if I pack another bag, I can definitely record another one for you. Or just other videos similar to this if you want me to pull from my collection here again. I would love to create a video like that for you. Feel free to leave that in the comments down below. And that's going to be everything. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye!